and I personally believe that this is something that is not a women's issue. It is something that we, as together in society, men, women, kids, everyone needs to take this on heads on and handle this and give it its dignity and self-respect. Instilling a feeling of period positivity is what makes the difference and instills the power to manage a period. It is a health phenomena that is there. So there are a lot of myths that have come down generations, like during period women are impure, they are cursed. There's a ban on entering the kitchen, ban on entering religious places, touching the pickle, washing your hair, and to the extent of not exercising your period, right? Uh, each of these myths have come down, age old stories. There were a lot of people are not aware that, okay, what is a reusable sanitary pad? What is a reusable period panty? So giving them that information that it is hygienic, it is comfortable, it is 100% cotton, it covers up for during your menstrual cycle, it is leak proof. So telling them that it is safe and sound, and you can adapt that for a longer period with a better effect on the environment as well.
Hi, welcome to the Mohua Show. My name is Mohua Chinappa and I am an author, entrepreneur, and ex housewife. This podcast is about everything from business to technology to arts to lifestyle, but done and spoken ईमानदारी से. Hi, in today's episode, we have with us Mahipal Singh, a visionary social entrepreneur and the founder of Revaa, a pioneering brand in menstrual health and hygiene. With a background in operational excellence and a passion for making a difference, Mahipal established Revaa to provide sustainable and comfortable menstrual products while challenging societal taboos. Inspired by a personal experience that we are going to ask Mahipal about, he has driven Revaa's mission to educate and empower menstruators through innovative products and awareness initiatives. Mahipal's leadership and dedication have positioned Revaa as a catalyst for change, advocating for menstrual health and fostering a supportive and inclusive environment for all of us. And I am completely enamored to find Mahipal Singh, a man who's talking about menstrual products in India. So we are really at the cusp of change. Welcome, Mahipal, in today's episode.
Thank you very much, Mahua. It's a privilege and pleasure to be here with you and to be able to spread more awareness and shed more light on the new outlook on menstruation.
So, as the founder and CEO of Revaa, what inspired you to start Revaa, and what was the journey like from the initial, idea of launching the brand?
So the entire story was inspired by personal circumstances. When during COVID, my wife was isolated, where she had COVID, right, and thus I was sprung into the limelight to handle a situation which I was totally unprepared for. Was my daughter's first period, and as we men usually take such things for granted, and was caught unaware of how to handle this, right? But I have twins. I have a boy and a girl, and both of us, my son and myself, put our thinking caps on and handle the situation at that time. But the idea was nurtured and was planned and carefully researched over a period of time. And the more we delved deeper into the entire concept, we came to know the actual situation around menstruation. It is not as what it seems out to be, because a larger part of our country's women do not have access to a hygienic menstrual product, and a similar part of the women's population has adopted to unhygienic ways of menstrual products, and they use stuff like mud, sack, dirty unsanitized cloth without the knowledge of what the damages it causes, not only for the health wise but also to the environment. And that is something that actually beat to me and actually made me work and go deeper and take this on as a cause to spread the awareness and at the same time introduce sustainable menstrual products. the journey has not been easy. It's challenging, and as you said, it's a man handling a conversation around menstruation, right? That's the first thing that raises a lot of eyebrows, right? Be it men or women, they all want to know, okay, a man talking about it. So I'm fully invested in this, and I personally believe that this is something that is not a women's issue. It is something that we, as together in society, men, women, kids, everyone needs to take this on heads on and handle this and give it its dignity and self respect.
Amazing, Maipal. I mean, people like you are change makers, actually. Absolute change makers. So, can you just tell us a little bit about the range of products that Reva offers and what makes them unique from other menstrual products that are currently available in the market?
Right. So, Reva is not only a medium to access menstrual products, but sort of a BFF who has you covered through your menstrual journey. So, Reva as a brand is like a BFF which has something in store for you through your entire menstrual journey. So, we've kind of made a full menstrual cycle where it starts with your mood swings, and we've identified five major mood swings that a woman goes through, which is pain, anxiety, digestion, sleep, and confidence, where we've curated special products, uh, which then leads to your menstrual cycle, where we've got sustainable menstrual products in the form of reusable sanitary pads, liners, and period panties. And finally, a mood uplifter for every woman to come out of her low phase is retail therapy, where we have introduced an eco conscious range of tote bags, travel kits. We've got sanitary pad holders, scrunchies, and the latest thing about pampering is with the artificial nails. So we've got them all covered under the entire product range of Reva.
Oh, wonderful. So it's basically a brand for women, by Mahipal Singh and inspired by his daughter. This is amazing. So Reva also delves into wellness with essential oils and balms. How do you address common issues during menstruation with things like this?
The biggest cliche we observe today is that when any woman has a slight indifference in her health, could be a headache, a stomach issue to a body ache, a standard remark that comes out from anyone is she must be PMSing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that is something that is not right, because it could be a genuine concern, and that is where we want at Reva, we want to change that entire thought process. And the way we've curated the entire wellness range is, like I said, we have found shortlisted the five top mood swings, right? We call them pads with confidence: pain, anxiety, digestion, sleep, and C. So PADS C, which leads to pads with confidence, which is the positive side towards your menstrual cycle. So the products that we've created are absolutely soft on the skin. The ingredients are vitamin E oil, jojoba oil, argan oil. The balms that we have are beeswax, shea butter. We don't use anything that can be harmful for the skin, because obviously women are very, very conscious on what they use, and these are easy to apply methods. We've got roll-ons, we've got balms for each different product, which makes it easy to carry and at the same time easy to apply. And instilling a feeling of period positivity is what makes the difference and instills the power to manage a period. And that is where our wellness range makes the difference.
Fantastic. I'm going to pick up this line of yours called period positivity. I think that is such a fantastic line, Mahipal. So, can you share any memorable moment or a success story that has stood out for you since the inception of Reva?
Right. So they've been ample, and I've been totally enamored with my experience of over the past 1 year, where I've had so many discussions, right? And a couple of them that actually stand out is during an educational drive that we did at one of the schools, where the administration was a little skeptical about doing a session with boys and girls together. So we were adamant that we want to do a session for the boys as well. And in that entire thing, one of the boys, he came up and he shared an experience that he said, I know when my mom is having a period, and I went up to her and asked her, Mom, can I do something? So his mom, coming from the current societal structure, said, Koi nahi beta, we will talk about it later when you become older. He kept quiet. He didn't want to irritate his mom. So he raised that question. He says, I still want to do something. So that is the care that the boys want to show, right? But our society is trying to challenge them and say, no, stay away. I simply told him, I said, care is not necessarily by asking. You can just show it in different ways. During a period, a woman goes through pain. You can give your mother a warm bottle of water, right? You can stop being cranky when she's on a period. Evening, you can say that, okay, mom, dad, let's go for a walk, right? So there are various other ways of showing affection and making your mom feel better about herself, right? And that is where it makes the difference, that when somebody comes up and shows that unasked for concern, if anybody comes and says, let's take it easy today or this week because we know what you're going through, it's not that the woman is going to put in a less effort. She's still going to go all out, but it'll give her more power, that there is somebody who has my back, who thinks about me. So that is one of the instances, and that is where I always ensure that all our educational drives that we do, we tell the administrators of the schools to have boys and girls together. If they're not comfortable having a session together, then we have two separate sessions for boys and girls, because it is important for boys and men to start getting involved in this conversation and break that taboo about menstruation, or what kind of a, as they say in Punjabi, hawa bana ke rakha hua hai. So it is not like that. It needs to be simply taken up like what it is. The other situation that comes to my mind is, in the initial stages, we were working with a partner on what kind of a website, what design concept and everything. And that gentleman very casually said that, okay, my daughter's on the cusp of getting a first period, and I'm telling my wife to be prepared to have that conversation. So I, as what I was, with bold, I unapologetically asked him, I said, you say you are progressive, then why are you asking your wife to go and have that chat? Why aren't you having it? He was dumbfounded. He kept quiet. It was an awkward silence. We changed the topic. We moved forward. A couple of months back, his daughter got her first period, and he took that courage, went and had that conversation. And he called me the next day and he said, it was a very simple conversation. Today, I feel more confident and I have a better relationship with my daughter. So it's all about how we make it out. Society has made it out to be a very, very negative kind of an experience, right? And that's why women also take it painfully. It needs to be positive. Like I said, the ethos of Reva stands as period positivity, right?
This
I
is
don't need to.
fantastic. I mean, this is such a great example, actually, Maipal, because I come from a generation when we hid our sanitary napkins in black dustbin covers, and we never spoke to our father about it. We never even used the word menstruation. We used to say chums. We used to say period. I mean, oh, I'm down. Those are the kind
Yes,
of words that we use, and it's amazing because what to me I think is so. This is so progressive that I have a male founder of a brand like Reva, who is so sensitized about this subject. So obviously, there have been, I'm sure, challenges for you to break taboos. I mean, as much as you're saying about all these nice things, there must have been also challenges, right? So, what are the societal myths, that you are currently challenging? Because we come from a culture where we don't want to talk about all these things. It isn't easy to break out
absolutely.
break into this entire closed space. So tell us, Mahipal, the challenges that you have faced.
It's not been easy. And actually, the moment you talk about menstruation or say the word period, everybody's ears get raised. Okay, what is this? This is not a topic that you talk in public, right?
Yes.
Uh, and I have unapologetically ensured that anybody who's uncomfortable with me talking about it, I ensure I speak more about it with that person, make that person either move away or get comfortable with the fact that yes, this is a normal conversation. We can sit on a dining table and have plan a trip for to around the world, right? But then why can't we have a talk on menstruation, which is like a normal health concern? It is a health phenomena that is there. So there are a lot of myths that have come down generations, like during period women are impure, they are cursed. There's a ban on entering the kitchen, ban on entering religious places, touching the pickle, washing your hair, and to the extent of not exercising your period, right? Uh, each of these myths have come down, age old stories. Everybody has a different connotation of how they represent them.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it is that in the olden days, women used to go through their periods. They were mostly housewives. So the men or the elders of the house used to tell them, take rest during that period. Don't overburden yourself, right? So it's usually used to be small houses. They used to rest in the corner of the house. So that got misinterpreted, misconstrued over the generations, and came out that women are supposed to be outcasted during their period, which is not the case. uh, Even Guru Granth Sahib does not say that you are an outcast or you cannot come to the Gurdwara. It is something that is personal. So my wife, she when she's on a period, she simply just takes a additional bath before she goes to the Gurdwara, so that in her mind she knows that she's clean. It's not that the menstrual blood is impure or bad. It is just that you feel clean when you're going to worship a god. And that is the kind of thing that we need to start talking about. And a very interesting story that I have heard was in one of the sessions that I was a part of, where in a house there were the grandmother, the mother, and the granddaughter. Uh, and the granddaughter was told, you're going to get into your period, you're not supposed to touch the pickle, and this and that. And the granddaughter, being a Gen Z, had that curiosity. So without telling anyone, for 3 months, she used to every day during a period go and touch the pickle, right? Without telling anyone. So at the end of the third month, she checked that, okay, the pickle hasn't gone bad. So when she went and told her mom first got furious that, how can you do this? This is wrong. But then the mother also realized that, okay, if the pickle didn't go bad, that means there is some sense to that. Then for the next 3 months, the mother did that test. And at the end of 6 months, both the mother and the daughter went up to the grandmother and told her that this is what we did and this is the result. You've been having the pickle and there's nothing that has happened to it. So it was basically breaking that myth, and all three ladies are actually role models of breaking that. And that is how I feel is we need to take these myths heads on. You cannot just sit down and say that, okay, we've been told not to do this, so we will not do that, right? We need to take it on heads on and say, we will question each and every myth, each and every stigma. And if there is some standing, then yes, we will not do that, right? India is a very diverse country, right?
Yes.
Where we have all three different genres, right? We have places like the Kamakya Devi temple,
Yeah.
where a menstruating girl is worshipped, right?
Yeah.
Then there are places in India, or there are categories of women who are cool about their periods, right? They're like, okay, I'm on my period, right? They're progressive. And the third part of the country is where women are treated like outcasts. So in one country, we can experience all three types. So why not, as a society, we all come together? It's not only the women, it's the men as well, coming together, addressing this and openly talking about it. It is that change that requires a big push. And it's not me alone or a few other men who are progressive in thinking can make it. It's, I think, platforms like yours or other social media platforms, when they start addressing it and they start bringing this thought out that yes, menstruation is normal, it's a normal bodily function, it does not require any special connotations and treatments, right? It is going to bring about the change, right? uh, Also, a healthy and regular period, right, means that your body is healthy and working absolutely fine. It also gives you a regular or a first indicator in case something is not right, right? And it all depends how you take that indication, right? Maybe if your period is a little delayed or there is some kind of irregularity in the flow, how you take it, because the body will give that indication to you that okay, there is something not right. It's a body's way of saying I am fine and so are you. So if your period is happening regularly, you are perfectly fine. And women need to love themselves, and love will be showered upon them if they give themselves the importance.
Absolutely. So tell me something, what are the lifestyle changes that can contribute to a healthier menstrual cycle overall? Because, nowadays, the more I meet so many women with PCOD and PCOS, and I mean, of course, this is a brand for that is a menstruation product brand, so obviously the question doesn't make sense, but still, I mean, what are the kind of lifestyle changes you think, because you've done a lot of research in this area, that you could just suggest for some of our listeners?
So, see, what has happened is that over the past couple of years, the access to social media, to gadgets, to a completely outspoken, outgoing culture has built up, right? And the availability of money starts happening at a very young age. So, all men, women, girls, everybody wants to start exploring, right? And that is where your lifestyle you start building. You start partying, you start having all the fun that you can, right? And that is what needs to be checked. It's good to have fun, but everything in limits is good, right? The biggest lifestyle change, and I feel that is something that is a big cause of concern in the current generation, which I would say is Gen Z, Gen Alpha, the millennials, the way the connotations are, is about communicating. It's what has happened is that when a, a person of any of these three genres has an issue or has a concern, they do not communicate with anyone. They keep their thoughts to themselves, because that keeping it to yourself actually leads to a lot of stress and your body reacting in different ways. And it is important to start communicating. I don't know if if you recall, in February there was an incident in Pune where a class 8 girl had committed suicide after her first period. It was basically challenging that nobody educated her or spoke to her. She was in fear that okay, what has happened to me? So it's nothing wrong happened to her. It was just a lack of information from our society, right? The other key elements, and which are easy to manage in lifestyle changes, is a good beauty sleep, which every woman needs to have so that they can look as beautiful as they are. A good nutritious diet, right? Keeping themselves hydrated and maintaining a regular exercise regime, be it during your periods or otherwise. An exercise regime always ensures that you have a good flow during the periods, especially. It ensures that your muscles are moving and the flow is uninterrupted. uh, Keeping a track of your dates, your flow, so that if there is anything that you see out of the normal, you can raise it and you can go and discuss it with the expert, with the doctor, right? Maintaining good hygiene, personal hygiene during menstruation, and this is something not a lot of women that I've seen during our drives that we do are aware that you're supposed to wash from the front to the back to ensure that no infection gets spread to the other parts of the body, right? So that is something that women need to start understanding and adopting in their daily routines. And the biggest thing is social media, the way marketing is handled. uh, there are a lot of fad products that come out, right, which look fancy. uh, Obviously anything that is fancy has its pros and cons. We need to ensure that we use products which are chemical free, and avoid unnecessary exposure to any of the scents, because they actually cause the major health concerns. So these are a few changes, and these are on top of your mind that every woman should ensure that they follow.
So, how does Reva ensure the quality and safety of its products, Mahipal?
So the way we do it is that we have a defined structure for our products. Each product is very carefully curated. I'm personally involved with the team in ensuring that each product meets the customer's expectations. So, hygiene is one, quality is uncompromised. We ensure that any partner that we work with, they also follow the same practices. Uh, and we ensure that we randomly test each product. We have mystery shoppers who check our products, so that sometimes when we do an internal testing, we can give a blind eye unknowingly. But if there is somebody who's randomly checking our products and gives us a reality check, is where we also are shaken up. So that these are various practices that we ensure we follow. And we've had various opportunities in our course of our business where a lot of people say, okay, it's all the value, the amount, the money that they want to shell out for a menstrual pad. You can get a pad as low as under a buck to anywhere between 10 rupees, right? It's all quality, right? It's how long you can use that pad is what matters. A lot of people, because they want to give that product out to the rural India, right, they compromise on the quality. And that is where I think we need to have those checks and pointers put in by the regulatory authorities, so that we can avoid any health concerns. That's the entire education that we want to do about go about in rural India. We've got a drive that we continuously follow. It's known as Wiki Period, right, where we go to schools, we educate the young girls, because periods have right now started happening at least 4 to 5 years earlier, right? Even a 8, 9 year old girl has started getting a period. So at that age, it is pretty shocking for her that, okay, what has happened to me? And if she is not very well aware of what that particular phenomena is, it will raise a lot of concerns in her mind, because at that age, hormones are playing a havoc in the body, and your biggest enemy is your parent. So the moment you see blood, you feel, okay, there is something wrong that has happened, and the last person you will go to is your parents, because they will obviously get angry. So you're fearful of it going out and talking about it. So when we do these sessions in schools, we educate them, we bring out the point of openly talking about it, be it anyone. They could be comfortable in talking about their teacher, to their mother, their sister, their friend, their neighbor, whoever. But they need to have somebody who they can talk to. And that is the most critical part that the younger generation needs to start understanding, because
Okay.
exposure is huge. And they want to try out everything. So knowing what is the difference between right and wrong, and at the same time adapting to the right product, the right means, to ensuring that they have a healthy and hygienic menstrual cycle.
So, tell me, what role does your team play in driving the mission of Reva forward?
Uh, the team is handpicked. It's a mix of men and women, right? And the first task that I give to the men, especially, is I tell them, go home, and talk about menstruation to your mother, to your sister, to your sister-in-law, whoever, right? Go and get first-hand information from them, right? It takes them a couple of days. I don't push them because obviously there are societal barriers, right? They may
Absolutely.
be comfortable, but maybe the women are not. So till the time they don't do it, I keep pressurizing them, because the biggest challenge is, if you are not comfortable in talking about it, you will not be able to understand what the brand is going to be doing. So that is something that is very, very important, that we as a brand, as a company, ensure that everybody is comfortable in talking about it, in knowing what is in detail, and spreading the word. And each one, we've got teams from the field, we've got the people in tech, we've got people in operations. Each one gets their own platform to talk about it. So I tell them, okay, let's start talking. You tell us what periods are, what is menstruation, what is a reusable product. So they themselves have to start making themselves aware to be able to talk about it, so that they can be ambassadors of the brand to the larger public. So when we have sessions, it's not feasible or humanly possible for me to address everyone on a one-to-one level. So it's the larger team that also engages in these conversations and spreads the message around. And that's how we built this entire thing of having open conversations, giving out a positive outlook on periods, and making that difference.
How can our listeners, who are listening to our podcast right now, get involved in Reva's mission and support the menstrual health awareness? What is it that we can do for you?
All right. So, Reva is, like I said, Reva is like your BFF, and we're always looking out for pad ambassadors who can spread the word and engage in conversations, right? So, I've given them. So, ambassadors are people who can talk, and pad ambassadors give out that pad and talk about it. So, we are on a mission to create the awareness and tackle the stigma and break the shackles of on the myths, right? And your listeners and all the listeners who are there on as an audience, they can participate in our drives. We keep having regular drives for creating awareness on accessibility to products, and they can participate in it in all means and ways. There are You can invest in your time, you can invest with your connects, with your resources and money, whatever way you deem fit, what works best for you. Reva is your partner. You would If you would want to schedule a session for an audience that you feel needs the awareness, Reva is there to support you and organize and execute that session. They can reach out to us through our website or through our Instagram or any of our social media platforms, and we would be very happy to engage and build this conversation forward.
Are there any awareness programs that you are planning?
Yes, so there is one that is happening on this Sunday, where we are creating an accessibility drive at the autos in Gurgaon, where we are putting pouches of reusable sanitary pads in the autos, and generating and creating the awareness for the women when they sit in the auto. So an auto is a very is a mode of transport that is used by all genres of people. So trying to capture that audience and bring about that particular product out, because reusable pads or the sustainable product range in the menstrual category is something that is very new. And from that perspective, a lot of people are not aware that, okay, what is a reusable sanitary pad, what is a reusable period panty. So giving them that information, that it is hygienic, it is comfortable, it is 100% cotton, it covers up for during your menstrual cycle, it is leak proof. So telling them that it is safe and sound, and you can adapt that for a longer period with a better effect on the environment as well. Because if we do a comparative between the decomposition, between the disposable and the reusable, there is a huge difference. Where a disposable pad takes almost 800 years, but a reusable pad almost takes 90% decomposition happens in 6 months. So that's a very big, a huge effect that can happen on the environment as well. So that is something that we want to educate the audience and the women around. We're starting with Gurgaon, and we're going to build that around the Delhi NCR first, because Delhi NCR is our home ground. So it's best to when we spread it out. And as they say, what gets accepted in North India, it creates that noise out across the country, because we are as they say, North Indians are very very robust and talk loud about what they like and what they believe in. So that's how we're planning to take this across the country, do various drives, and bring out the entire accessibility to reusable products.
What's the most surprising thing that you've learned about menstruation since you started Reva, Mahipal?
Oh, so there are two surprising things. One of the biggest was that when women, men and women both, and it's not only the men, right? I would say women as well, are they say they are comfortable talking about the phenomena called menstruation. But when it actually comes to talking about it in public and addressing it, they just shy away, right? Uh, there are thoughts like, what will the world think? This is not something that you talk about openly in public. So, is society being conducive to making the change? Is something that I would like to ask, right? Uh, we need to be openly talking about it, right? And I think the Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, Millennials, they need to start asking why, what, how, when about periods. And that is what will raise the curtain on menstruation. Uh, the second thing that surprises me is that, and I've heard this on multiple forums and women addressing it, saying that menstruation is a problem. They refer to it as a problem. Uh, I don't know how it is a problem. It is a normal body function, right? If women address it as a problem, then obviously the whole world is going to address it as a problem. So we need to be positive about it. If you have a good period, your body, you are healthy. Obviously, you can go ahead and raise a good, healthy family, right? If you don't have it, obviously it raises concerns. You can be positive around when you're getting your periods, right? Because what happens is, in today's day and age, a lot of women who are, let's say, very very bold in their attire, who like to wear vibrant colors and like to be wearing jewelry and enjoying themselves. But during the periods, they totally tone them down. They start wearing whites. They start wearing earthy tones. Obviously, that is going to play an effect on your personality, and you are going to feel low, right? Let's say, Mohua, you like wearing, let's say, fancy earrings and like to do makeup, right? But during your period, you just don't do it. Would you feel yourself? You will anyway feel low. So that's what women need to. They need to be themselves, no matter how low they are. If they say that, okay, I am positive, I can fight this, right? They will feel good no matter. See, every day there is some body ailment, body aches, stomach. There is so many things that the body is going through. But if we say that, okay, we can handle it and smile, I think we can make a much better uh, perspective of menstruation to in our society.
Fantastic, Mahipal Singh. This has been an honor to have you on my show, and we wish Reva all the best in its future. This is absolutely a pioneering brand in menstrual health and hygiene, and I'm sure that this conversation is going to touch a lot of our listeners. And to me, I'm touched that I'm talking to a man on menstruation. This is my second podcast. I first did it with Anurag Chauhan. He has also been working in this, and today it is with you. And this has been the most in-depth conversation that I've had on menstruation products and menstruation. And you are a visionary. Wishing Reva all the best. Thank you so much for being on
Thank you
today's
very
show.
much. I would like to close this conversation with swing your mood swings and be period positive with Reva. Cheers.
Be period positive with Reva. Let's repeat
Yes.
that. Be period positive with Reva.
Positive with Reva. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah.
To you, our dearest listeners, you can find us on your favorite streaming services Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and of course on all other major streaming services. With loads of love, we are The Mohua Show, where we talk imandari se.